At the beginning of this year, I made a video talking about PewDiePie's challenge that he did for himself, where he went 100 days drawing every single day. Well, recently he made a new video where he continued that challenge and has been drawing every single day for 1 year, 365 days of drawing. I feel like I can't even call myself an artist anymore. I thought it would be fun to revisit PewDiePie in this video and talk about how his 1 year of drawing video describes him as literally every artist ever. So howdy, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Rumbo, yay. And for those who don't know me already, I'm an artist and I make videos just about that. So if that interests you, you might want to hit the subscribe button down below. When I watched this recent video, there were several points made that I resonated with so much as an artist, that are also points and lessons that I think are important for any artist at any level. So in this video, I'm going to be going through all of these points, showing how PewDiePie is a prime example of the journey of improvement that each artist of all kinds take. So as a breakdown, here are the points that we will cover. The importance of drawing different things, experimenting with tools and mediums, using books and resources, the curiosity one gets from being consistent, the unfortunate reality of non-linear progress, as well as the importance of encouragement from your community. But before we get on to this video, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on my post notifications so you're notified when next I upload a video. I upload weekly, so you'll never want to miss anything from me. Comment down below if you've done any drawing or art related challenges this whole year. Because I was supposed to do Inktober and then now it's November. The importance of drawing different things. If you watched the previous video that PewDiePie released, you would have noticed that he pretty much has one subject matter: anime girls. And he did end up drawing them really well, but that was the problem he discovered, that it was the only thing he knew how to draw really well.
Don't do what I did. I just kept drawing the same things. But if I had to redo it, absolutely not. This is where I should have moved on to something else. I should have just drawn anything else.
Even though he dedicated a long time to drawing, 100 days at that point, he realized that there were so many things he didn't know and didn't know how to draw. In this video, he took to drawing different manga panels, male characters, and even went on to concept landscape. It was still in the similar style that he developed for himself, but through experimenting with different subjects, he felt that he was stretching and learning more than what he did during the initial period of his art journey, especially because having new subjects forced him to be more actively involved with drawing instead of falling into what he was comfortable with, the same pattern. As an artist, it is so easy to stick to the one way you know how to create. That is the most comfortable. Once you get into a particular rhythm, it's easy to stick with the same style or subject or reference, but this is a fat trap. You're comfortable because there is no challenge, and also you are getting consistent results that you're somewhat satisfied with because of this rhythm, which is normal because as humans, we tend to take the path of least resistance, and doing something that we have already known and is tried and true is just the path we naturally want to take when creating things. We will get into the resistance of trying new things later on in the video, but here I want to focus on how a simple change of subject matter will have a large impact of your drawing journey or your creation journey, whatever medium you take. And here's the thing, which applies to a lot more than just creating art. It applies to many other aspects of our everyday lives. Sometimes when we feel motivated to improve ourselves, we get overexcited and think that we need to completely change every single thing we're doing at that moment to achieve it. An example of this comes from the iconic New Year's resolution of getting fit. For a lot of people, this New Year's resolution looks like having this need to have new workout attire, new gym membership, follow a new fitness regime, or a new diet plan. All of these different new things that may cost more money and more time and more mental energy, just because you think a new, clean, fresh slate is what you need to be successful. And tails all this time, you crash at week 2 or month 2 because it is very unrealistic, and sooner or later you just fall back into the same routine. Starting all of those new things just took way too much mental energy, and it became way too hard to maintain it, so it's just much easier to drop it. What would have made more sense if you are starting this New Year's resolution of getting fit is dumbing it down to one thing that you could change and then slowly building it up. Instead of signing up for a gym membership for a gym that's 20 minutes away, you could spend 20 minutes on a YouTube workout in your bedroom. And it's a small start, but it's a start nevertheless which is a lot more realistic and it takes a lot less activation energy. Bringing it back to art, if you think that buying fancy new materials and paper and pencils and completely changing your art style 180 is going to improve your art, it might get you excited in the beginning, but that's a lot of change that might be too much for you in the beginning and might make you more prone to just completely stopping or completely resorting back to what you're comfortable with. The simple act of just changing one thing, being what you draw or what you create, and leaving every other variable the same, might see you have a lot more growth because you are focusing on one area that you can improve. It's not wrong per se to change a bunch of things at once. I'm just saying maybe try that. I've done that before and I think that's the best way because I get easily distracted and overwhelmed if too much is changing and happening at the same time. Number 2, experimenting with tools and mediums. Another way you can improve your art one step at a time is by changing up what you use and what you draw or create with. And that's what PewDiePie did. He showed how he started using this or trying this one brush pen. PewDiePie started playing around with this brush pen, which opened him up to different techniques and effects that he liked, such as the high contrast effect that it made. Mediums make a world of a difference, and sometimes when we are so used to just one or two mediums, we can rob ourselves with different styles and tools that may lend well to your work. At the beginning of the year, one of the resolutions that I wanted to improve on with my art is the use of color. I've always been terrified and horrendous with mixing colors and using colors in my artworks, so this was something I wanted to focus on. I found that just simply by picking up a beginner entry-level gouache set and some soft pastels, I have learned a lot more about color this year than I have in my entire journey. I know, crazy. In fact, I have now changed my entire body of work that I'm currently working on to something that is purely focused on color and light. There are so many tools people use in their art that make it so much cooler, and it would do a world of good to see how your art looks like in different styles and mediums just by changing up what you use. Number 3, using books and resources. This was another huge arc in the PewDiePie drawing lore storyline.
So finally, after, I don't know, 300 days of drawing, I picked up an art book. I should have done this ages ago. So I picked up a couple art books, some more technical than others. I picked up books about perspective because I want to learn and I want to understand this. And I think finally that clicked in me.
He wanted to learn more about drawing and not just stay stagnant. And through that, he bought books. Using books and resources is really important in trying to develop as an artist if you are an artist who wants to improve their skill. I think it is very important that as an artist you don't stagnate in one spot just because you've become comfortable or you are, like I have been a lot, too lazy to look outwards and improve yourself through learning and researching. It doesn't always mean that you have to religiously follow different techniques and skills and books and theories. It just means opening yourself to other people's literature or techniques or ideas, and taking what you think would work well in your artwork might make a world of a difference in what you create and will open your eyes to so much more. Because there's that like one saying where it's like in art, it's about taking the skills, learning them, and then seeing how you can break these rules in your art. Something like that. I don't know. There's like a quote. That being said, I'm going to show you some of the books that I recently got that have been helping me because in my new body of art, I am exploring landscape and also taking a more impressionistic approach. All of these books, by the way, I got secondhand. Can we acknowledge art books are expensive? I got all of these secondhand. Some of them, for example, is this book on Impressionism. I found this book, which I haven't started reading that much. I've just read a couple poems. It's Shades of Green. It's a poetry book. It's a section of poems that are nature inspired, which I already showed you in another video earlier that I got this book, Art and Nature, which is also a collection of nature poems, but it's alongside a bunch of nature inspired artworks as well. I'm actually really getting into poetry a lot because of this. This Monet book, which I had been eyeing in a secondhand store for I think a month, praying that no one would get it. The other one I want to show you is this current book that I'm going to speak about in my next video. Spoiler. This one by John Files. It's called The Tree. might be one of my favorite books of this entire year. Another thing I want to talk about in this video is the use of physical books and the importance of them. I don't know if it's just me, but sometimes I find it hard to use Google. Yes, the whole world of information is at our fingertips on our phones and our laptops, but sometimes it's so hard to search for these materials when you don't know how and where to search for them. So when I want to find information, let's say on trees or nature paintings, just Googling nature paintings doesn't really show me a lot, or it shows me a lot of like similar things. But I found going into secondhand stores and finding older books, or going into my library and finding books there, have opened me up to a lot more stuff that I haven't been able to find because I just didn't know how to search. As much as I want to say use Google, also if you have a library nearby, pay a visit and just look at book titles and see what's like interesting, what picks up your eye. Or if you do want to like add to your own archive of art books, going into a bookstore, secondhand bookstore, a charity store, seeing what they have, it's a cool way to explore and open your eyes to stuff that might not be on the first page of a Google search. I feel like I've learned a lot more. So long ramble, but books and resources, they have been so helpful and inspirational. If you're not a book girly, become a book girly. If you are enjoying this video so far, make sure you like. It helps me a lot and it helps this channel a lot, and share this with all your friends. Curiosity from being consistent. This is a smaller point, but in the video, PewDiePie said that after creating and drawing for so long, he became more curious about what else he can draw and do. That curiosity led him into a new path of his art journey, which was digital drawing.
Yeah, but I felt genuinely in me like I can do more. I know I can do more. I know I can do better. And I really wanted that to show. So, and that's when I bought an iPad. Coming in clutch last minute.
So this small point is basically talking about how when you're consistent with creating art, doing it on a regular basis, having it in the forefront of what you do, if you can allow it, can naturally lead you to be more curious about what else you can do, what further steps you can take. With that being said, I think it's very important that we never curb our curiosity, that if there is some thought that you have, write it down and just go for it and see where it takes you. You might not always like where it takes you, but it is very helpful. It might help you discover a part of yourself you didn't even know was there, or it might help you discover an avenue of art that you didn't think you would ever create before, but now you feel really inspired to. You'll find that it grows as you're more consistent with your art. And when you do find yourself curious about something, just go for it without thinking. Don't think too much. Overthinking is the enemy of creating. Let me tell you that. The unfortunate reality of non-linear progress. Once he had gone onto digital art, he faced another problem.
I started the line work. This is gonna be so good. And this is the end result. And I genuinely hate looking at it. It just pisses me off. Even now, I don't want to even...
He felt like he sucked again, and what he was drawing there did not look as impressive as his day 80. 2 points here. The first one being the suckiness of growth pains. When you're improving, it hurts. You're being challenged actively and you know you have to overcome that. Whether it's because as you are learning, what you're creating just doesn't look nice. Also because you have to be more intentional. Like it's just not natural to your hand to paint in a certain way or draw in a certain way or create in a certain way. So it's just like uncomfortable. That uncomfortableness is necessary. That's why it's called growth pains. It's not just painful without a benefit. That being said, it's hard to stick through that because, like the earlier point mentioned, we like to take the path of least resistance. The other thing here is hitting plateaus and feeling unsatisfied with art. Hitting plateaus is inevitable in art. It can often lead to imposter syndrome, where you feel like you actually were never good to begin with. If not, you might feel like you're regressing. But it doesn't actually mean that you've regressed. It just means that, you know, there are highs and there are lows and there are plateaus in your art journey. That's just how it is. And it just means you have to stick through that because eventually you will improve and you will see improvement. And maybe you actually are improving, you're just not seeing it on the paper because not everything looks the way you want it to be because you're still learning. That's the unfortunate reality, that progress is never linear. It looks like this Success lies in sticking through all those highs and lows and plateaus. And the last point is the importance of encouragement from the community. So PewDiePie also talked about how much support he got from online on different YouTubers, art YouTubers and channels and stuff, congratulating him for doing this challenge and for learning how to draw and falling in love with it. Here he talked about how that really inspired and motivated him to create more and just cemented how much he loved to draw. This point is very important and something that I definitely missed from art school, which I just graduated from early this year. Having a community around you that inspires you, that gives you feedback and ideas and supports you in your art journey it's a big privilege, and it is super helpful, especially because being an artist can be a very isolating career or passion because it's you and your art. Once you open it up to the community where they can support you and root for you and give you different ideas, it just makes all the more difference. And that's what I miss the most about art school, because it was an environment where you had your mentors, but you also had your friends, which were also artists. So you're going through it together. So you're alone, but you're together if you are able to, even if your friends aren't artists themselves. But show your art to friends. Ask them for feedback, or even just tell them about how it's going, whether you are struggling or whether you just don't feel like picking up your pencil. Having an accountability partner is super beneficial, and I actually should do that. But it is helpful. Do what I say, not what I do. So those are all the points. An unnecessarily long dissection of what he just released, but I think it is helpful to me and to you. I'm going to end this video off here and say thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, if you like me, subscribe, comment down below, all that fun jazz. And until then...